You know when it's really bad?
What?
When Ollie's saying the same things we said on the show the last 2 days. We were literally joking, even though it's not a joke, saying, why are the Cardinals losing? When they pitch, they don't hit. When they hit, they don't pitch. Ollie literally said that last night. And then I liked his answer, but getting a little bit defensive.
Oh!
Let's hear it.
Oh, let's hear it,
Getting a little bit defensive going after,
Alex didn't tweet that out.
pun intended, the defense when he said, well, we're playing infielders in the outfield.
What?
We're playing infielders in the outfield.
No, Alex did not tweet that out.
No.
You can't find that?
I don't have any Ollie.
I watched it on television.
Talking to the guys today, everyone's pretty confident. Everyone's frustrated.
That.
What are you guys hiding?
He did.
from a different
Ollie
game.
did do that. So he's like, I talked to the guys, and they're
That was
they're
before.
excited.
Well,
That was
You know what
last
they
night.
did, though?
That was last
Listen.
2 nights.
So I saw
I
on
actually
social, you know what
defended
they did? They said they took that, and then I talked to the guys, everyone's confident, whatever. Then everyone else said, we're totally frustrated. Of course. I mean, if you're the manager, you're not going to say this team is laying down, even though it appears that way. I get that. But I am surprised that we did not tweet out
I don't know.
Ollie's postgame.
I had.
I think Ollie,
wanna hear it
I
now.
really do. I think he's starting, whether it's him or somebody else, I think somebody is starting to read the tea leaves of where the criticism is going with the Cardinals. And when a lot of people start to talk about bad defense and sloppy base running,
Gorman.
which you can put on the manager. That was blamed on Matheny, remember. We blamed all that on Matheny at the end, and we praised Mike Schilt for cleaning up the fundamentals. We're not talking about talent. We're talking about fundamentals. And I just thought it was interesting that Ollie immediately had a nice retort to a Katie Wu question and said, well, we're playing infielders in the outfield. Kind of like, it's not on me. It's not on me. We're playing infielders in the outfield.
Yes, he's starting it a little bit. And even, I don't know if Ben Fred tweeted out last night, too. He goes, Chip doing his best to gently steer Jimmy Ballgame away from criticizing the Cardinals for the Jordan Walker demotion. Messaging was high-level entertainment.
No, actually, I think he was just trying to call a home run.
Yeah, that was during the home run, which was hilarious.
I mean, no offense. That's his job is to call the home run.
I agree with Ben Fred, though, because it went on after that. Where
What was
Jim
he saying?
he
Can
basically
we find that clip?
He basically just kept talking about the fact that he didn't approve of the way they handled Walker, and you got a young guy, and that's where I agree with Jim, though. Of course, if you have somebody, you're going to try to help him out. I mean, if he is hitting 60% ground balls, you do have to clean that up.
So, I mean, in fairness,
Yep.
like I get it. It's fair to criticize the way they handled not just Walker, but a lot of different things. It's open season for that because they're not playing well. So you're allowed to criticize. But to say that teams don't help rookies and try to help them along or give them different, of course they do. He said if you're a major leaguer, you can't do that. Well, they do with rookies.
Of course.
It's standard operating procedure.
And then he goes, ball game won't be deterred. Goes back to it, quoting Chris Carpenter text and he received after initial comment. Jimmy's fired up. So I guess he said Chris Carpenter text him. He always says people text him, Mm-hmm. He's like, Chris Carpenter texted me, and he agrees too.
I bet there's some curse words in that text. I wish you would have read it.
I know. That's funny, though. It's funny. It is what it is.
It's not funny
it's
when
not
this team
funny.
loses, Cam.
Yeah,
it's
Cam.
serious business.
I laughed.
Oh, really?
I'm laughing
Oh,
now.
you're laughing
No,
at
I'm
them
laughing
losing.
now. I'm laughing when Joe Biden blows a tire. I'm laughing when Jimmy Ballgame calls out the Cardinals. I'm laughing when Jimmy starts coughing in the mic. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
What about Cole coughing into the mic? It happens a lot more than me doing it.
That's
now,
true. Well, it's,
recently.
follow
the trend, son.
You're right. Cole just needs to, take a day off.
Cole not loyal.
Cole, take an hour off. Start there.
I did, and I
gotta call in.
I got called out for being late that day.
Well, of course you. Should we not call you out?
No, you should.
I mean,
Cool.
you're 50 minutes late.
That's the worst response. So you're saying, because we're mocking you for being on the air 10 hours and then calling into a show, and you're saying, well, when I didn't show up for work, you guys weren't happy. So that's the same thing. So Cole can show up late
Yeah.
whenever he wants.
Of course.
That was
Taking a break, guys. Took a break.
I think it's that booth.
The
There's
joke-
something in that about that booth.
the joke was Cam said you need to take an hour off, and I said I did, and then you got called me.
No, again, that's exactly what I was talking about. You took an hour off when you were supposed to be here.
I know.
How strong you want to come at it, guys?
Pretty strong.
Coming pretty strong here.
Coming pretty strong here, baby.
I don't have Ollie sound, but I do have Mosaic sound. They interviewed him in the pregame. If you'd like to hear it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jimmy?
Great interview. I watched that interview. It was something about maybe
Jimmy
it was.
just said no.
Well, hold on. Maybe it was
it's
about
fine.
who conducted the interview. It's just To me, it felt better than the other interviews you usually get on Ballot.
Listen. I'm just Mo is going to get destroyed. It's the same answers, but that's fine. I mean, he's going to get destroyed.
Maybe it was the questions. I feel like the questions were better.
Did you really watch it?
Was it a good interview?
I actually did watch it. Of course, I'm killing Jim, but it was a good interview. We can listen. Don't you always want to hear from Mo?
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
But didn't he say the exact same thing a week?
Okay, but it's 2 weeks later. You interviewed him when they were still kind of good, right?
Yeah.
Memorial Day-ish?
Yeah.
Now they're bad.
How long is it? Play that mug. Everybody stinks.
So the solution, what is it, and where does it come from? Inside the organization
Great
or
question.
outside?
I think that's a great question and one we're asking ourselves every day. If the answer's outside, then we're in trouble because you're not going to really be able to do much for at least another month with regard to the trading deadline. And so for us to really get back to our winning ways has to start from within. So maybe the short answer is get healthy and start winning games.
That's a great question.
Great.
It was a great question.
They got to get healthy.
They gotta get healthy.
When they get healthy, it'd be like making a trade.
Text line's
Because
blowing up.
Carlson and O'Neill were hitting really well before they got hurt.
I know.
Because Tyler O'Neill, when he comes back and he's healthy again, he's
gonna get you.
He's definitely going to be an everyday player.
Did they say?
For sure.
See, that's what I want to know. Do they now know what's going on with his back? Do they have a timetable for him?
I don't even know if this is baseball related anymore.
To me, that's like the most interesting thing. Like when they get home, I'm going to find Tyler and go, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
Because even talking to Mo or Ollie, you get kind of different feel to what they're saying about what's going on with Tyler's back. Like one, we're not sure exactly what it is, or we're shutting him down until we get better. It's a back spasm that was supposed to be a short-term thing.
I wonder if he ever plays another game with the Cardinals.
I don't know.
I hope so. Here's why. I want him to come back and get hot, and I hope they don't trade him. I would love to see him be a 30-homer guy for the Cardinals. I realize very unlikely. I'm a realist. But I do want to see him, if they want to trade him, let him come back and show he's healthy and hit a couple bombs, because I would be against, just from a strategy standpoint, trading low. Like you want to trade when the value's high. I'd like to see him come back and get a little traction.
I just don't know. I don't know if will the value ever be that high, even if he comes back and has a good couple weeks.
He's very streaky, though, so you could maybe catch a front office off guard if they're not fully.
Come on.
No
could.
No one's
Not a front office in baseball that's going to get caught up.
No one's that dumb. No one's
The Nationals.
You can't sell.
The A's.
You can't sell another general manager on something that happened 2 years ago if you yourself aren't convinced that exists anymore.
It's no question, but I'm trying to sell an asset at the highest possible value. Comes back for 2 weeks and shows the back is healthy. That's what I'm not saying all of a sudden you're going to forget everything that's gone on since he was really, really good. But show what the commodity you're dealing, it's like a car. Look, we fixed the muffler.
Yeah.
The muffler's fixed.
We fixed the transmission. Oh, okay.
But the bumper's falling off.
But that's who he is. Don't you think
Brakes don't
his
work.
value is always going to be he can be 8th in the MVP if he's healthy, but he's never healthy and he's super streaky. I feel like any team is getting that no matter what. If he has a good 2 weeks or a bad 2 weeks,
Doesn't matter.
That's still going to be Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah.
There is upside. There is. Let's not act like he didn't finish 8th in the MVP. But that's once every 4 years, and the other 3 is usually hurt and league average-ish.
Are we sure that's once every 4 years, or just once in his career?
Okay, well, how many years has he played?
I think 5.
Okay, how many games has Tyler O'Neill played in the big leagues? I bet you it's 400-ish. Can we look that up?
I'm looking it up.
I will say this, not that it matters, but it is a detail. As a minor leaguer, the label was you're too big, you're going to pull muscles, you're going to be out all the time. And he wasn't. He wasn't injury prone in the minors. This is something that's happened to him since becoming a big leaguer. And I'm not saying, I don't think there's a front office that you're going to say, hey, want to trade for Tyler O'Neill? He just hit 3 homers this week.
Yeah, he's looking good.
And you catch him off guard, and they go, yeah, I remember that guy. Who do you want?
Send him batting practice video.
Yeah.
How many games?
434.
I mean, he's played less than 3 full seasons of Major League Baseball games total.
And I get, but I will say this: when healthy, and it's not that often. I get all that. This guy is, to me, a different kind of talent. Will he ever get there where he can do that consistently remains to be seen. But if you trade him or he stays here and he does that, you're going to be a much better team with him.
Get him
I
in.
get that we haven't seen it.
The text line's going nuts. They got a lot to say, and I'm going to read it.
Are they happy? They happy with this club?
No, oh, God, no. When are they ever happy? I like when they're not happy.
Cam's on the board.
You're very negative. You know,
Yeah, why do you like that?
the Blues had a good year. The Cardinals are having
The
a
Blues
good
are
year.
lucky the Cardinals suck right now. They got work to do, too. You have another bad year like that? I'm telling you right now, you better. The draft is coming up. I hope you pick some good ones. You got work to do, Blues. And no one's talking about you yet, but they're going to.
Are you calling for Armstrong to be fired?
No.
Seems like you were.
Oh, God.
Seems
Oh,
like
God.
you were.
Well,
And
he
Chief?
choked.
Why do you hate Doug Armstrong?
they
He
cheap?
choked.
And
Are they
Chief?
cheap
Yes.
jokers?
Last year, they were cheap chokers, and they traded away everybody.
Were they cheap, though?
No, they they're cheap. They spin up to the
dare
cap.
you.
They spin up to the cap. I can't say that. Choker, but they you like
jokers.
it? Watch, they're gonna like me now. Everybody's gonna like
Yeah.
me. Anyway, let me get to you guys because that's all that matters. The Yankees traded for Bader last year while he was on the IL with a foot issue, and his entire game is based off of what he can do with his feet. I would suspect some teams would still trade a valuable asset for O'Neill like the Yankees did for Bader.
The reason why the
Kyle with big
Yankees
hands.
traded for Bader, even when he had the plantar fascia. By the way, he's on the IL right now with hamstring.
Yep.
I mean, he's been injury plagued
Big time.
since he's been there. He's had an abdominal, and then now he's got a hamstring. But they were in desperate need of a center fielder to stabilize their outfield, and he fit everything they needed. So they were, and Montgomery was considered a legitimate pitcher in New York. I mean,
He
still,
was.
He
Yep.
still is. I'm not downgrading that, but they gave up something to get a guy who had injury issues because that's the one need that they had.
Yeah. Wash, rinse, repeat. Thanks, Moron. I was more interested in the Provenov trade to Columbus and the return Philly got and wondering what Falk or CP55 could fetch for the Blues versus watching this dumpster fire. But hey, Steven Matz was good. Jobu.
They got a ton of draft picks. I don't know what the Blue Jackets were doing there.
Jimmy.
Columbus radio's not thrilled with Provorov coming at them.
Well, whatever. He's a pretty damn good defenseman.
No.
Because he's not going to wear the pride thing. Are they bitching about that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
She calling Columbus Sports
Are
Radio.
you going to call
and
it?
give
Yeah.
Give a
I
take on
should
that.
call in.
She's
and
like,
I'll-
screw this Provorov.
Yeah, I'll do it in the
Wear
commercial
the
break.
jersey now. I don't care where you're from. I don't care if you're from Eastern Russia. Jimmy Hayes can't attack or hold the players accountable. He can't.
Coward.
What, didn't I just say that they've been awful?
Yeah.
But I said suck, and you would not respond to yes or no about suck. You said awful.
Awful. That's the word I use. Aren't
What
they
about
sort
suck?
of entered?
Do they suck, though?
They've sucked.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does that make you happy?
Charlie just digging
That's
it
just not a word
You
I
hear
use.
that, Mo?
You hear that, baby?
That's
You
not,
hear that?
Clip it off.
That's not a word that I use.
know. I'm just joking.
Awful is the word I
We're
put
just
in.
kidding.
I use that word.
Hey, we're all
Cardinals suck.
we're emotional. We're sad. You know, we don't want to see our club playing like this,
No.
and so we're a glass case of emotions.
Cardinals suck.
Bro-Neil's speed is more valuable than his power. Speed. He said speed, though. Bro-Neil's speed is more valuable than his power. He needs to put the weights down and get on the damn field. Cray-cray. He does work out a lot. He must work out. Tyler,
He changed a lot about his workout, routine, and a lot of it he said was to try to avoid these issues that he's coming.
Yeah, looked totally different.
he looks totally
I mean, he
different.
looked totally
He looked like
different
Seth.
than the previous years. No, he looked the exact same.
Exactly. Actually, more jacked. Actually, he looks more jacked. What has been the Cardinals' record since Jim has been on this Cardinal vacation?
Great question.
It's not been good.
Wow.
The Cardinals need your 590 Colonel. Hold on. The Cardinals need 590 Colonel in the clubhouse, keeping them straight with those softball hitting questions straight to their face. Get back to work and quit living off the 590 food stamps, Jim.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
That's pizza. We're
Pretty good.
partying this
I'm
weekend.
going to be hosting tonight with Brad Thompson. So they could lose 10-0, and I'll say a lot of positives.
Yep.
By the way,
Soft contact.
Tyler O'Neill played 138 games in his really good season, 2021. He's never played more than 96 games in any other season. We're talking 61, 60, 50. Now, 50 was the COVID year, so that is essentially a healthy season for
Yep.
COVID. But the guy
COVID.
has played over 100 games one time.
Now, when I see a fact like that laid out precisely, it makes me want to say, well, that's none of your business.
Yeah,
That's just part of his story.
it is.
It's a big part of his story.
Well, yes. It's
Did
a
anyone
key
on the
part.
dais say if Tyler O'Neill were a stock, they'd buy?
I
Oh, that
think-
was me.
I
That was-
think
yeah,
you
that
did.
was
you.
me.
That was you.
Which
It is funny how he said he changes strength training up. He just looks ultra jacked.
Listen,
He looks more
you could-
jacked.
You look more
Listen,
jacked.
you could condemn the whole training staff, but he stayed in St. Louis to change his routine with the training staff to work on things that I don't know what that is. I don't understand.
I know.
Trying to keep him on the field and the way he ran and all this stuff that they thought would help, and nothing's helped.
No. Cam, do you guys think Waino had pulled Libby aside before his post game to show him all the soft contact he had against him last night so he could use it for his post game? Big Belly Burleson. Did he say soft contact last night, Libby?
I don't think he did. I watched that.
Yeah.
It was kind of a short press conference,
Yeah.
or a short media scrum, I should say.
Laughter is the best medicine to cure all ails. Hold on. Laughter is the best medicine to cure all that ails us, including being upset at a very, very bad baseball team. Hockey Bob. He's so
I knew that was
positive.
Hockey Bob.
For you.
Such a Hockey
Good
Bob
for you,
text.
Hockey Bob.
That is a Hockey Bob text.
Even though you told me to burn an HE double hockey stick,
He did.
good for you.
He did. He took
And
that back.
And I will say this: sometimes, Charlie, this is behind the scenes stuff, but there are times where it seems like, oh, the post game was short. There are times that you've waited to get a player, and you're on the road, and you know they're either going to get this sound in or they're going to wrap up the show. So you get it, you get something, because you got to run it to the truck and send it back. So there are times you don't stay for the full interview. I don't know if that's the case in this one.
It wasn't.
But that happens sometimes.
I was responding more to Libby was pretty short and direct with his answers.
Maybe
It's
there's
fine. He didn't pitch well, and he was disappointed. I get it.
soft contact.
Soft contact. Couple soft contact plays, change the game.
A lot of it.
There was a huge outcry against Ozuna trade. Everyone was interested in the other two outfielders. Ozuna was a one-year player. Alcantara was a current version of Hintz back then.
2 years for Ozuna.
Lots of promise. No one would have foreseen Reyes or C-Mart falling apart. As for Arozarena, God, I forgot that name. Arozarena. People that were paying attention should have known he was tearing it up in the MLB. But among all the outfielders last year, the Cards never really gave him a shot. The disappointment is both falls on the Cards scouting, both Ozuna and Liberatore, versus their own players. Should fans be skeptical of Cards' current scouting group or just accept that players are humans? Some reach their ceiling and some don't. 314. Sorry, I butchered that. That was a long one, homie.
Ozuna's having a monster year this year. And in fairness, I didn't like the trade because, first of all, he won a Gold Glove, which I was shocked by because I watched him play against the Cardinals, and I thought he was a terrible outfielder. I don't know how he got the Gold Glove. But when they got Ozuna, it was because they went in on the other guys and couldn't get him, and they needed a bat. And all three outfielders had resumes, so they went with Ozuna. And I don't remember people I didn't love it. I didn't love the trade. But I don't remember people saying we don't want that guy. I know there are people upset about giving up a guy like Alcantara.
And Gallen.
True, but more than Alcantara, though, at the time, because he had the look of a can't-miss prospect. At least that's what I remember. He's a big guy who threw hard and never really got a look, barely pitched at the big league level. So there was some blowback on that, but I don't think people were upset that they got Ozuna. I mean, at the time.
I liked the deal at the time. But again, it's the Cardinals' job to know who to trade away and who to keep. I think if you gave away one of those guys for 2 years of Ozuna, that's probably the worst trade in Cardinals history. I think that may go down as the worst trade in Cardinals history.
Damn. Good morning, guys. Side note question. I know Chip was present for the game last night, but has anybody taken off more work as much as this guy has? There have been several games/series where one of the radio guys has to sit in for him. Is this the norm? Because I've never remembered Dan taking a day off. The Mad Marine.
Just so you know, this isn't Chip's decision.
Does he hate the Cardinals?
No,
Probably. Sick of him already.
No, but this is the kind of thing where people
to
think
Braves.
they know. Oh, well, he's not there. He must not like it, or he must. Okay, when and it's not a Ray. It's Tom Ackerman who's filled in. Did a very solid job.
Damn good job.
When Chip signed, they wanted to bring along a backup play-by-play guy.
Yeah.
So look, these are some of these. I'm not off because I choose to be. They want to give everyone time off, so I'm not on this road trip. Chip got some series off his play, but not his decision.
Yeah, he's just asking. He was just asking.
No, but it's like I've seen that. He's taken a lot of time. It's really a handful of games that he's not been there.
I think he can't stand to watch this product,
I know.
personally.
And Matt Holliday didn't take the coaching job because he knew it was coming.
He knew something was coming.
Is Jim Edmonds the backup play-by-play guy?
Well, he calls home runs sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think people like to complain.
John Boy here. If the Cardinals lose today and get swept all 6 games on the road, will somebody get fired?
No.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
No, why- they would do it already.
It's all coming at the end of the year.
Okay.
If it comes.
Maybe All-Star break, you fire just a coach that doesn't matter.
Yep.
And by the way, Jack Flaherty's going tonight, who's been really good.
Whew. Mm-hmm. Can I just throw this out there?
Positive spin.
Yeah.
This is just a fact. I'm not even saying I agree with this. But the day that Tyler O'Neill got called out, it was very early in the season. Way too early to say, oh, he was going to have a great year. But Tyler O'Neill, on that day that he was called out by Ali Marmol, had an 804 OPS, 294 average, 333 on base, 471 slug. I think Tyler O'Neill needs to be more mentally tough. But he literally fell off the planet the second that happened. Then he got hurt.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, his production, it was 1 week. I'm not trying to act like he would have done it for 150 games. But that messed with him. Like,
course it did.
he's a guy, and I'm not saying that he doesn't need to be better at this. I think that last year, I think arbitration got in his dome. And I think this got in his dome.
I could see that.
And he's a guy where he lets things in his dome.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least he's wearing a dome, right, Cole?
Yeah.
Morning, boys.
What does that mean?
Nothing. Morning,
Does
boys.
that mean that I wear a lot of hats?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Is that a condom joke?
Well, kind of.
So does he go sailor style?
Well, I
back
hope
then?
no. I hope not. I hope not. And I've told you about that too.
So
that's all. I was just
Can we
trying.
unpack this?
I'm just trying to tie everything
We-
together
we
with
can
a bow.
Can we
whatever.
unpack this?
Well, Sharon, let me.
We can unwrap this.
No, Sharon has something to say about you anyway, Cole.
Yes.
Morning, boys.
Unless it's positive.
Based on it's not based on recent events, Cole seems like the type to be the super nice guy to loyal listeners on air, but then snub you if he met you. Am I right? It's sad. Also, Cardinals suck. Charlie, you okay? Question mark.
Because the Cardinals stink?
I don't know, but will you snub people?
No.
Okay.
Cole's a
think
nice
he
guy.
No, I'm not Jim at Busch Stadium.
Thank you.
Why he's sticking up for you?
Plus, he has Ohio values.
I know.
Middle of
Pretty
Ohio
good.
values.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good. That was-
I will say that I get the feeling Cole is genuinely
Yes.
a nice person.
yes.
And that was a good shot. By
He's
him.
too nice. Here's why. It's like Seth. When you're early in the business, you're nice, and then after 5 to 10 years of this business,
yeah.
you become an a-hole.
Yeah, you do.
It just does it to everybody.
Well, because after 5 to 10 years in this business, you elevate a little bit, and you're not as, I don't know, you don't have to worry about pissing people off because everyone just knows you.
Well, you always want to worry about pissing people off to some degree.
Well, yeah, okay, you don't want to.
No, but always be nice to the listeners.
Well, yeah, of
always be
course.
nice to Cardinal fans. I'll say it again.
Sponsors,
James?
management,
Cardinal fans have been nice to me, so I'm nice to them.
most of them.
The sponsors have been nice to the show, so I will be nice to the
course.
sponsors.
Yeah.
We're nice to everybody. Just don't be a dick to me.
But remember, the listeners are the customers. That doesn't mean that they can berate you or whatever or take shots at you without you firing back. But generally speaking, they pay the bills, so show respect to the listener.
yeah, we work for them.
I'm always texting back on the text line, especially on Nate's show, because I think if you text the show, it's good for us to respond to you, because if you take the time to listen, I want you to feel engaged.
That's what I do too.
That's a different thing. That's a different
No, that's correct.
No, you.
That's why I like every tweet. People make fun of me. I like tweets
do
because
I.
I'm acknowledging the people listening.
I agree.
see you.
I
I
agree.
appreciate you. That's why I like
Why
tweets.
do you like every YouTube comment?
Same reason.
Algorithm.
Well, that's true. I mean, there's actually value, 100%. There's value to going and liking
about money.
and thumbs up. No.
Monetize.
Yeah.
You're like the PGA. You don't care
So
about
if you get a like
morals.
by
You,
Charlie,
you
he's just-
literally, this guy literally 1 minute ago said the sponsors and the viewers pay our bills. You go, oh, you care about money. You literally just said that. You literally just said they pay the bills.
Anyone that
That's the whole
supports
point.
me, I'll support them. I'm not. I could.
Yeah, that's the literal
I'm not worried
thing
about.
I just said.
I'm not worried about my algorithm. Monetize.
It's an audience of people,
I'm not worried
and they
about my
want to feel.
algorithm.
You will be on TikTok.
See?
I think it's hilarious. You think somehow what you're doing is different on TikTok for the 12-year-olds. It's the same thing. It's about the algorithm.
Oh, now you're making fun of TikTok.
Well, you make fun of YouTube, so I'll make fun of TikTok.
Because your
I actually have been monetized for 2 years.
Your YouTube viewers are much smarter than the TikTok.
Well, they're all baseball fans for that particular channel.
Well, I think I probably have a lot of Cardinal fans following me on TikTok.
We can look at the different demos. I bet you yours is way younger.
I don't know how to do that.
I can show you.
All right. I don't know how to do that.
Charlie's literally looking at Kenny Wallace's YouTube analytics right now.
Is he? What else?
I'd
are you
like to
looking
check
at?
it out.
What else are you looking at over
Spotify.
there? Just looking. The only good
I
part
was looking
of
up Tyler O'Neill's stats. I just provided some stats.
I know. You did a good job on that. Dang good job.
Don't shut your computer. More stats.
Now he shut it.
No.
Now he's worried about Cole.
That's what it is.
You are looking at all my
I know he
account
is.
information over there.
I know. He's
But
creeping.
can I
you
get
out.
back to attacking Cole?
Yes.
Please.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, enough
Radio
of us
Cole.
attacking each other. I like that you're responding on the text line, but you're doing it because it's sort of like a little radio show. So you're on radio now, but you're also doing sort of a digital radio show,
digital.
and you're getting 2 needles in your arm.
Yes.
That's what that's
Then
about.
endorphins are going.
Can you agree with that, Charlie?
No, and I say that because,
just for the-
again,
agree.
I get it. We'll have other reasons to take shots at Cole. But big picture, it is good to always like, respond, and comment to all of your listeners and viewers as long as you can. As long as it doesn't take up your entire day, I think they appreciate that.
Okay, I think
I'm being serious for once.
Okay, but if we're discussing it, I think liking everything is sort of. If you like everything, it doesn't mean anything.
I don't like
I'm not
everything.
criticizing. I
Like
thought
boxing.
Anyone who responds to you or tweets at you, you like, which is a
Not
good thing.
everybody, no.
All right, I
Not
don't.
if I disagree with it.
I don't do that. I try not to respond to
Well, you're
everyone,
real.
so I'm not
Yeah.
leaving. But I do feel an obligation for the people that have chosen to follow me. Big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
That I'll tweet stuff out for them that I think they might find either funny or interesting.
Should like their comments.
To me, that's my obligation. I'm on Toctic. I'm on the Toctic.
The only good part of last night's shite show was the Cardinals game was a jaywalk bomb and Jimmy Ballgame absolutely calling out the bozo front office morons for the mishandling of the Walker situation and then doubled down on his comments. Absolutely love that, Wombat. What's up, homie? Yeah, that kind of, yeah.
You got a text from Carp. I should have read that text.
I know.
I wonder what Carp was saying.
I know. Let's see. Charlie nailed it again.
Go to break.
Tyler totally let Ollie affect his game. He may have even got hurt because he changed how hard he was playing. Charlie, the man of sense, unlike Jimbo and his Ozuna, and his Ozuna is having a monster year this year with his 107 OPS plus. Angry old guy.
Can I just say, though, about Tyler O'Neill? So, in saying that, I was both critical of Tyler O'Neill and the front office. I wish every player was so mentally tough that you could yell at them, you could call them out, you could be old school. We just know that's not the case. There are dudes you can yell at, they respond well. There are dudes that let things into their head. And I think it's fair to say, with the arbitration stuff and with being called out by Ollie, I feel like Tyler O'Neill, right or wrong, is a dude that it's just better to do it behind closed doors. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and there's some guys like that.
So to me, the arbitration stuff I would say is fair. Of that possibly getting in guys' kitchen, but that one thing of Ali calling him out, it wasn't even just about that one play, as it turns out. But they've had issues with their communication in the past. I think it's an ongoing thing. I don't think it was one thing that suddenly sprouted up over one incident on
That
the
one
base
play,
paths.
yeah.
I don't think it was.
But why do it publicly? I think everybody is glad
agree.
that you call that guy out. What? Tell me this. What's the value? Tell me the value add of doing that publicly versus behind closed doors.
Ollie Marmol came on this radio show. He's loyal to us, and he wants to give us content.
So you're talking about after the playoffs last year?
Yeah. He likes his radio show.
No, it
so
was
he's like,
great
you know
content.
what? I'm gonna give these guys some content. I'm gonna call out Tyler O'Neill.
So, and I was talking to
appreciate that.
Cam about this after we talked about Tucker
Yeah.
this morning.
How
But
much
I
we
kind of
missed
feel like
He's backed, by the way. So you
Everyone-
guys, I can tell you guys are good now. 'cause
Charlie,
I did the Twitter video.
Charlie, the other day I'm
I
driving.
can tell you guys were
Charlie,
more mellow.
the other day I was
90,000
driving home and I didn't know where to go because I haven't seen or heard of Tucker in a long time.
Yes, I will watch.
I drove to Cedar Hill. I didn't know what to do
Can we
because
talk about
I
that
can't think
later?
for myself.
Later.
Let me just say this, and then we can talk Tucker.
Well, no, let's have a nice long baseball segment for YouTube, and then we'll break, and then
Okay.
we'll do.
And for the podcast.
I can't think for myself.
You break it up into two clips anyway.
Even the folks that didn't think the Cardinals were going to be good, didn't foresee they would be this bad. So everyone is frustrated. Fans are ticked off. I get it. So everyone is trying to figure out, well, what caused it? There has to be a cause. Even the folks that don't think the Cardinals were going to be great have to admit the talent should be able to put them in a better spot than they are now. Correct? I mean, Can we agree on that? So, well, what happened? Well, it's Tyler O'Neill, or it's the handling of Jordan Walker. None of those things, I think, are really the cause. They're part of a season that's gone totally, totally south to this point. And I don't think either one of those things have had a huge impact on where they are now. Yes, they're part of it, but everyone's trying to figure out, well, what causes this? Well, because they're just not good, So everyone's trying to narrow it down to this thing or that thing, and they're all part of the puzzle. Yeah. I mean, that's why.
Actually, Hockman had a good article in the paper and said the exact same thing. He went through every single list. And, of course, the O'Neill situation was there. The pitching situation's there. The outfield situation there. Some of the injury situations there. Contreras situations there. I mean, boom, 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 boom.
Think about this.
That adds up to a lot of little things equals a big thing.
I mean, to the point that we've been saying they're not matching, hitting, pitching, whatever. But their stretch of starting pitching outside of last night, which was not the worst, has been pretty good. The starting rotation has stabilized. There was a time in the season where you're like, if we could just get a little starting pitching, they're going to rattle off 8 wins in a row. And what happens? Got the starting pitching. No offense.
Yeah.
And they lose. And so the only constant to this season has been losing.
Yeah.
I do think, though, that from a PR standpoint, this is the worst season I can remember in my 15 or whatever years with the Cardinals in terms of handling things publicly poorly. And it's not just one thing. It's at least 3 big things. Jordan Walker, if you don't give him any type of margin for error, he was league average offensively. You already knew he was learning outfield on the fly in the big leagues. Then why bring him up? I mean, if that dude can't even be league average in his first time up with never having played in AAA, why bring that guy up on opening day? That makes no sense. Contreras situation, how it was handled, makes no sense. Tyler O'Neill, that was a bad look. Should have handled it privately. That's 3 pretty big things that the whole baseball world is talking about.
Yeah. To me,
and have been.
To me, the Contreras thing is not even comparable to the other 2. Okay, the Contreras thing of saying, no, he's an outfielder as he goes back to Wrigley. An outfield. He'll be in the outfield. Nope, he's a catcher.
He's a catcher again.
To me, that was the worst of anything. A player gets criticized now and then by the manager. Yeah, he called him out a little bit. But to put Contreras in that spot, and I don't know exactly what happened behind the scenes, is he's going back to Wrigley where he's going to be the focal point. They're going to play the Cubs. And now you said he's an outfielder. Why can't he catch going to Wrigley? To me, that was the worst. The other things, yeah, a rookie's going to get great players have been sent down and called back up before. I get why they did it. I think would I have done it that way? Probably not. I agree with part of what you're saying, but I don't compare those 2 things, Tyler O'Neill and Walker, to the Contreras thing, which I think was handled in a much worse way.
Right, but you bring up Wrigley. That's the short term because he was going to Wrigley next. The long term is that you did sign a catcher to 5 years. I don't care what they say. I don't care how much he's catching now. They don't like the way he catches. There is essentially a mutiny amongst the pitchers to say, we're not going to throw to this guy. That's a really bad sign in year 1 of a 5-year deal. And Jordan Walker, what did the Cardinals expect from Jordan Walker? What did they expect to put him on the opening day roster if he was league average offensively, and we all knew he was figuring out the outfield on the fly? What do you expect? Did you expect him to be 150 OPS plus in his first time up with the big leagues? If you knew his leash was that short to put him back in the minors, he never should have been in the big leagues in the first place.
That's fair, but I don't think it's the end of the world when a guy goes back down and comes back up. It happens all the time.
The Cardinals don't do that usually. The Cardinals do not fast-track guys. They do not. Jordan Hicks is the last guy, and pitchers are different. The Cardinals do not fast-track prospects like that.
I also think Walker's a different kind of talent. I know Burleson and Gorman had crazy minor league stats too, and it took them a while to come up. I think Jordan Walker, first of all, they need an outfielder, a guy with power, and I thought they wanted to see what he could do at the big league level. I just don't think sending him down back up. I wouldn't have handled it that way myself, but it's not like it's a crazy thought to go, I think you got to work on some things. We'll send you down, bring you back up.
It's not crazy. It's just another miss of a season full of misses.
Crazy, yeah, because we're looking for what happened, and I get it. But, like, crazy to me is the catcher you just signed is now an outfielder. That's crazy to me.
That's the media's fault.
Yeah, it's our fault. God, the text line's just blowing the hell up, man. 855-282-8255. Sorry, Sharon, I know you were referencing or referring to Cole not pumping our tires up with tuna, but I read that late because when you typed that in, 50,000 more came, and I kind of passed it up, not on purpose. Who we are, Randy? What up, homeboy? What you got to say?
Hey, I like to ask, Charlie Marlowe is about the most sensible broadcaster left in St. Louis. He's just very neutral, lays out his discussion, and I think everybody doesn't appreciate that type of journalist anymore.
Thank you.
That, Mr. Toledo Valley.
Yes, thank you. Finally, I appreciate
Toledo
it.
values.
Well, anyway, I talked to Charlie Marlowe last week, and also to Jim Cat Hayes there.
Who's that?
What happened to your lieutenant governor there, governorship there, Mr. Hayes?
Right now I have a campaign committee, and we're taking finances in to run the campaign, which I will pocket.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, can you make sure that there's no subsidies given to Cardinals until they get rid of Mosaic? I mean, can you make sure that's written somewhere?
I already have a deal with DeWitt. They're going to get plenty of subsidies.
Yeah.
No taxpayer dollars until Mo is gone.
That's it.
Yeah,
Read my lips. No new taxes until Mo is gone.
Do you think if they fired Mo, they'd be better, honestly?
Well, I think Mo has already created the transition away from Mo.
He's transitioning.
Well, no, at spring training, he essentially said, "This is my last contract, and whoever gets it next, Gersh or Flores." Like, he already announced that. We're already seeing Gersh do a couple more interviews.
Where's Gersh been?
How is he so?
Am I wrong?
I think so. I'm not saying down the road he's not going to be there, but I still think they're operating the way they normally have. Everyone has a role, and from my understanding, talking to those folks, the roles are pretty much the same.
I think that there's more responsibility for some of the, I don't want to call them underlings, that sounds offensive, but lieutenants, because Mo basically said during that press conference that the transition is now in place for his successor. I don't know if it's going to be Gersh or Flores, but he literally said that.
I've never considered myself a journalist.
I have not.
I think Flores had a big role anyway. I think Gersh has a big
but we're
role.
talking about
though people don't see him as
the chief decision maker. Whoever is the chief decision maker 2 years from now.
Bill DeWitt.
Okay, we're talking about from running the baseball operations department. Are we acting like that doesn't matter now?
No, I'm saying that everyone has a role. I honestly haven't seen Mo. You handle this. I haven't seen that. I'm not saying that.
Are you up there every single day?
No, but I've talked to him about what they're doing.
Okay, but I'm saying whoever is the successor, it's probably going to be Gersh or Flores. And I think those two are having more responsibilities for this year and next as they basically lay the groundwork for who's next.
All right.
You don't think that's true?
No, I think that groundwork has already been in place. Like, Gersh is the general manager. They promoted him. Mo became president of baseball operations. They all have their roles. I think either one of those guys, Flores or Gersh, are already ready to jump into it. I don't think they have to change the rules very much. And from what I've seen, it's still pretty much running the way it generally has.
My point is, when you set that up and you publicly, I mean, if you guys want to go and listen to that press conference, you should listen to the press conference.
No, I heard.
They're not going to fire Mo. So everybody calling for Mo being fired, they're not going to fire the guy when they've already essentially set up the transition team.
Go listen to it, Jim.
No, I heard it. I heard it what it originally said.
Read my lips.
Like, you don't promote a guy like Gersh to general manager, unless
fire all
that's
of them.
the option for the next step when
all gone
when Mo leaves.
All I'm saying is, I think there's a less than 0% chance that John Mozeliak ever gets fired.
Do you think they would be better? Answer that question. Do you think they'd be better off if Mo got fired? I mean, tangible, where you see it within a couple weeks.
I think it's okay to say, when he's already essentially laid out the fact that in a couple years he's no longer going to be running the show, he'll probably work with the Cardinals in a different capacity. This always happens where you have a consultant or you're with the owner, you work on business. You saw that with the White Sox had Kenny Williams forever, and he was the GM, and then now he's up there doing whatever, but you have a different guy actually running the baseball operations department. So
at the Boa Walsh.
To answer your question, though, do I think a change of direction at the top? I think at this point, it's fair to say after 15 or so years, sometimes a message can get stale, and I think John Mozeliak would admit to you that his first 10 years were way better than his last 5 years, so I think changing the chief decision maker would not be a horrible thing.
Right, but again, and you'll get mad, I don't think he's the chief decision maker.
Okay, we're talking about the baseball operations department. He's the president of baseball operations. Do you really think Bill DeWitt knows every single A guy? When somebody drafts a shortstop from Texas A&M, do you think Bill DeWitt knows who that person is? No, he doesn't.
I think there's guys that's their job to know, and things are presented to the group.
And Mo runs that position.
That includes Mo and Bill DeWitt, and they make it as a group, the big decisions.
Okay, but still,
that's all I'm saying.
The information when Mo makes a trade, that's coming from baseball ops.
Yeah, I know. And that's part of the team that they put together. I already said, like, when they want to make a trade, baseball ops guys, they say, okay, what are we looking for? Okay, the group, and then these guys go find guys. Then Gersh lays out with his guys possible trades that could help the Cardinals. And then either Gersh contacts, like, their GM or their assistant GM, see if there's any possibilities there, and then they present it.
That's it.
To the decision maker.
That's it.
That's how I understand it, and I think it remains the same. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, my point is, if 2 years from now, the final decision of baseball ops is Gersh or Flores, that is different when your chief decision maker is no longer the same person. It'd be the same as Army. We all know that Tom Stillman has influence, but if you change the chief decision maker and it's somebody else, you're changing the direction
Fire all
of the franchise.
I want them all gone.
There's
Both
no
organizations
way,
gone.
There's no way. Now, could Ollie be fired in the next year or two? Sure. I don't think there's any chance that John Mozeliak, who's essentially another son to Bill DeWitt Jr., ever gets fired by the Cardinals.
This conversation is giving me pink eye. Move on, the Bastard James Hahn. Hear me out. And the text line is blowing up. Blowing up. I'll try to get to all y'all. Pizza Wallet chimes in. We're going to be partying this weekend. Hear me out. They keep coming in. The Cardinals need to shake up the clubhouse big time and mess with minds of the Cardinals fans. Trade back for Ozuna, Tommy Pham, bring back Carlos Martinez, and then have Tino Martinez bobblehead night.
Yes.
Pizza Wallet.
Okay.
See, he's always
Pizza Wallet, you're having a big day.
He always
I know
has a
sometimes you come after me. I don't care. I think you're having a big day. You know what I would do today? I don't know why they haven't done it. I would have done it 4 games ago. I would just change the lineup. I don't want Goldie batting second anymore. Maybe I'd flip. I would put someone like Paul DeYoung as the leadoff guy. Paul DeYoung is scuffling now.
Yeah, he is.
All right, you're not getting a ton of offense right now. Just mix it up for a day, change it up, and see if that has any impact. I'm not saying, oh, Hayes says change the lineup. Don't fix the team. I'm talking about today. That's what I would do.
Especially nowadays where the starting hitters don't have to be this fast slap hitter or anything like that. Like Schwarber's leading off now for the Phillies.
We had
and
Matt Carbon.
He's killing it. Yeah.
A human roadblock on the base pass. So, I mean, I get that.
Good salsa, though.
My point,
Dang good.
My point is just change for change's sake in this. I'm not saying you're tired of a player so you trade him. I'm saying something like this. Just change the lineup. Make it fresh. And I never liked Goldie batting second anyway.
You have more to gain than lose doing that, too.
In a modern lineup, though, a lot of teams put their best hitter at second. We've seen Trout.
Because they're getting more at-bats.
Yeah.
I get it, but it's not working. So change it up.
I'm fine with mixing anything up at this point.
Mix it up.
Look,
Today.
Yeah, it's fine. You could, if Ollie did a pregame press conference and said, guys, we're losing every game. I literally picked the lineup out of a hat today. I would say thank you.
I love it.
I honestly wouldn't even critique him. I go, try anything. Because I still think the front office is more to blame for why the Cardinals are bad this year, and I'll always say that. I don't think the field manager has nearly as much impact as the front office who's picking the roster. However, this feels now like just a losing bunch. And I know that's...
Bunch of losers.
No, it's hard to quantify that, but it just looks now like a defeated bunch. I know everybody's talking about that Ben Verlander little take that he did where he said this team has no fight. You don't want anyone to say that. They do feel like a losing bunch that are going to find a way to lose.
Yeah.
And that's not good for the culture of the clubhouse. And to me, that reflects more on Ollie. Again, I can't put my finger on it, but they just lose. And they feel like a team that goes out there and finds a way to lose each and every night.
And you know why? Because the team that used to be locked down defensively isn't anymore. And you can say, and it's true, I mean, I said it the other day, you got outfielders, you can say they're not hitting, I get it, but you have infielders playing outfield, you have outfielders who aren't your best defensive players that you have to play by necessity, so your defense is obviously going to suffer. But stuff like on the base paths, where we're seeing bad base running.
Nolan Gorman last night.
We're seeing balls just drop.
Trying to go behind the back.
That's why it seems like there's a losing feel to the team, because we're seeing stuff we're not used to seeing.
And also, hey, Cardinals, just lie.
Yeah, you got to lie.
Well,
when in doubt, in doubt, lie.
I would have lied about Contreras.
No, you would.
I would have. And I would have not publicly called out Tyler O'Neill. I just don't think there was any value added to doing it.
I agree
You
with
didn't
that.
even have to lie. The guy already had a sore ankle. That's real.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
He said he could play through. So you know what you say? What you've said a million times before. You say, we're being extra cautious.
That's it.
And then it's not an issue.
100%.
What is Cat arguing? He has breathed in too many exhaust fumes riding around that Bally's Porsche convertible.
It is
Angry old
nice.
guy. It is nice.
It is nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bally.
Are you part of the street team?
He is.